Good day everyone and welcome back for another video. In today's video we're going to talk about long-range devices. I have these two that I got sent by Seeedstudio quite some time ago. Unfortunately I didn't have the chance to make a video about this just because I've been waiting for an antenna to make some tests on this particular device. Unfortunately that antenna didn't arrive. It was supposed to arrive on June 17th and here we are, July 1st, and still nothing. So probably I'm going to do more testing a bit later in another video. It was in particular for the 433 megahertz network, but yeah, here we go. So I received these devices. I've been playing around with them quite a lot and I've been testing them both with Meshtastic and Meschcore. Actually, on this particular device I only have installed Meshtastic. There is no Meshcore on this one for me, and I'll tell you the reasons why a little bit later. But yeah, Meshtastic seems very quiet here in Brasov. The network doesn't seem to be very popular around here. I haven't received any message, no users, nothing. But on Meshcore, very popular. I have around 40 users, repeaters and so on, whatever we have available, and the network seems to be very active because I'm receiving a lot of messages daily, so it's kind of cool. Unfortunately, I have good things and bad things about both apps, Meshtastic and Meschcore, and I'm going to talk about that later on, and towards the end of the video I'll tell you which one I picked and why. But let's talk a little bit more about the devices in particular right now, and after that we carry on with the differences between Meshtastic and Meschcore. So I've heard about long-range devices for the first time sometime back in 2024 from an article written by Antonio, Italy Kilo 8 Sierra Uniform Tango, in the radio magazine, and I was really curious about the whole thing, but unfortunately I didn't have the chance and the time to dig a little bit deeper into the subject, so I kind of forgot about it. But I remembered when Seeedstudio sent me these two devices, and I got really excited, and of course, obviously, I started testing them right away. So what are these two devices? First of all, I'd like to say sorry for my dirty hands. I got home from work and I started recording this video right away. I didn't have the chance to actually wash my hands. So let's talk about the devices. This one is a SenseCap T1000-E, and I kind of like this one. It's more like a credit card size device and it's really cool. You can hang it on your backpack. This one though, I like it even more, and the reason for that is that I can actually change the antenna or I can connect an external antenna to get more range, which is pretty cool. Right now on this one in particular I have installed Meshcore, and I'll talk a little bit about that. We'll go through the menu really quick and I'll talk about it. And then I'm going to try to install Meshtastic again on it and show you the difference between Meshtastic and Meschcore. On this device though, I only installed Meshtastic just because for Meschcore it doesn't work the same way. Unfortunately, it's only using the telemetry data sent by this one. And you know, it will send packets with telemetry data, which I wasn't so interested. I actually wanted to be able to use this particular device on Meshcore just as I was using it for Meshtastic, you know, to be able to send messages, receive messages and so on. This has nothing to do with the devices in particular because this is a app thing. So it's separate from the whole devices thing, but yeah, they work great on Meshtastic, and I think Meshtastic is much more developed when it comes to devices. It offers more options and more support. Meshcore on the other side, I think it's a little bit more reliable and as I was saying, here in my area it seems much more popular. So that's the reason why I've been testing this one a lot with Meshcore. So let's get on the phone really quick and show you what I have and see if I have any stored messages over here to show you the activity on the Meshcore network here in Brasov. So first of all, I have to turn on Bluetooth so I can connect the devices. One of them is working. Let me actually turn on the other one. The second device, by the way, this one is Wio Tracker L1 Pro, because I forgot the name. But here we are on the phone, so I have Meshcore DX Explorer, which is this device over here, and Delta X-Ray Echo, the other device, this one over here. And let's go on the app first. So if I start Meshtastic, I have to connect the device to the app. Here we are. I'm not going to go through settings and all that in this video. We can do that in a future video if you want. But there are quite a lot of videos on YouTube about these two devices and when it comes to settings and so on. But here I have 3 networks that I'm using. It's Radio Amateur, which is a Romanian network. We have the usual long fast and the secure DX Explorer one. So right now I have this device set up for European Union 868 megahertz. There is also available, and it's actually it's about the same, popular in Bucharest, but they have 2 separate networks that they started separate. One is for the 433 megahertz network, and it's used mostly by amateur radio operators, or actually entirely by amateur radio operators. And there's a second network developed together with other people, not only amateur radio operators, on the 868 megahertz network. So I left it like this just because I thought that technically for an emergency network, I think 868 or whatever was the frequency. What was that? I keep forgetting. 868? Yeah. So a network that it can be used by non-licensed people, I think it's much more effective as an emergency network, sort of saying. But as you can tell, I don't have anybody here in Brasov next to me, or at least I don't see anybody here on the map, or maybe the map doesn't show. But yeah, this one has been turned on for the past, I'm not sure, I think it's since yesterday. But we have here a bunch of settings, and yeah, you can set up this device pretty cool, pretty easy, and it's all easy to set it up. Now let's go on Meshcore on the other device, on this Wio Tracker L1 Pro. Let me disconnect this one actually. Where was that? I think it's here, connection, disconnect. And I'm going to go on Meshcore. And on Meshcore I have to do the same thing again. I need to connect the device to the app. And look in here. I have 40 channels, whatever, 22 contacts. I have a bunch of people over here. And if I go through messages, this device was off today, but look over here. We have a lot of activity and a lot of messages here on Meshcore. So there's nobody on Meshtastic in Brasov. And if I go on the map, again, look over here. I have a bunch of devices and people and repeaters. So I think Meshcore is much more popular in here. And we'll talk about that in a little bit and I'll show you why. But anyhow, let's forget the phone right now and we'll get back here on the video. So again, this device is really nice for Meshtastic, and I like it because I can put it on my backpack. It's really tiny, it's really light. Unfortunately, the only thing about this one is that the battery only lasts about a day. But actually, not just that. If you don't transmit very much, I think I have this one on for the past 2 days and it still works. So it has this connector over here with magnetic stuff. The device comes with a USB cable and this connector over here that you just place the magnet over here and you can charge it through USB. And let me see actually. It's right here. So this is the connector that comes with the device, and it clicks just like that, and it's really easy to use. So right now you just connect it to a USB charger and it will charge your device. So yeah, I'm really happy with that, about this one. On Meshtastic I didn't put Meshcore just because Meshcore only uses this device to send telemetry data. And since I cannot use it to transmit messages, at least at the point when I checked, this was not available, so I didn't bother installing Meshcore. That's why I was saying that Meshtastic seems to have much more development for various devices than Meshcore, but who knows, maybe later on Meshcore will do the same. So right now let's talk about Wio Tracker L1 Pro. Yeah, this is the one. So over here I don't have much. I have this message. On Meshtastic this button is used as menu button. In here it doesn't do anything. So yeah. Yeah, if I click on it, it doesn't go anywhere. I can just go left and right to move through these settings, so it tells me the frequency. And Meshcore over here, it's also on 869.618 megahertz. Here I have the Bluetooth. I can actually turn it on and off. I have an advert, you know, to send my position and my details and everything to the network. Here's GPS position and so on, hibernate, and we're back in here. So I don't have too many options, unfortunately, for Meshcore on this device, but it works really cool, and Meshcore again is really popular around my area. So even though I don't like the menu system, and I don't like that I don't have so many options on with Meshcore on this device, that's the disadvantage about Meshcore. And if I want to use my device without a phone to read the text messages or write messages, I can actually read them, but I cannot write any messages if I want to send messages without using the phone app. So yeah, that is what I don't like. So hopefully Meshcore will work on this, and it will do a little bit more development when it comes to the menu and the options available for these devices. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to install really quick the Meshtastic on this device, and after that we'll talk a little bit more and I'll show you more options over there as well, because Meshtastic, it's much better when it comes to development on the menu system and everything, and all the options that are available for this device. Alright, so let's flash Meshtastic really quick on this device over here. So first of all I'm going to connect it with a USB-C cable to the computer, and I need to turn it on. As you can tell, I have Meshcore installed right now. So I'm going to double click on this button on top over here, which is the reset button. And now I can start flashing it. And I'm going to go on the computer and I'll go to meshtastic-org /downloads. And over here I'm going to go to Flasher. I'm going to select my device. Come on. I'll go to Seeedstudio. I'm going to click on this one. sorry, I selected that one. Here I'm going to click the firmware. I'm going to select the stable beta version. Here I'm going to click on flash. I'm going to click continue. Enter DFU mode. It's connected. COM14 is the device. I'm going to download this file over here on desktop. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go on desktop where I downloaded this file. I'm going to copy it, and this is the tracker. I'm just going to paste this file over here, and once the file is copied to the device, I believe it should restart, if I remember well. I haven't done this only once or twice, so I'm trying to remember, but I think that's the way it works. This is not a tutorial, by the way. It's just me trying to show you what I'm doing over here. Yep, it will reboot. Alright, and we have Meshtastic. I'm going to disconnect it. I'm going to click EU 433. Sorry, you can't see much on the screen. Let me put it this way, or let me bring it closer. Maybe it's much better this way. So I'm going to select EU 433. Come on. Okay, it's rebooting. So every time I'm making major changes to the menu system, it will reboot. So now I believe I can stop the screen recording and we can concentrate on what we're doing over here on camera, trying to avoid the shade and the light on the screen. So as you can tell, over here we have a much better developed menu. We have messages, but there's no messages yet. Hops, distance from the next node, position. These are the settings, the settings that will go through another video through the menu. Clock, and over here we home again. But let's say I want to write a message. As you can tell, I can select the destination. I can pre-write messages over here if I want. Free text. And this is the cool thing about Meshtastic, and especially on this device, it allows me to use it without the phone app, contrary to Meshcore, which doesn't allow me to do this thing. So yeah, I'm just going to click exit. But this is Meshtastic on this device, and again I can also connect it to the phone with the app, with the Meshtastic app, just like I'm doing it with this device over here. And the settings are pretty similar. I mean, they are almost identical when it comes to phone settings and Bluetooth and the whole thing, but we'll go through all this in another video. I wanted to talk a little bit about the range of these devices. So I've been testing both of these two devices together, trying to communicate with each other using Meshtastic. And from my location, which is not so good just because there are a lot of buildings around me, I think I got about a kilometer and a half, something around there, a distance covered between these two devices. But keep in mind that this one was inside my camper, and with this one I was actually walking, and yeah, it worked. I could send messages, but as soon as I get a little bit further, it doesn't work anymore. But the whole point is that for the entire network, doesn't matter if you use Meshtastic or Meshcore, you need a repeater with an antenna that is quite high, so you'll be able to receive the signals around you. And I think you can increase this distance quite a lot, especially if you have some external antennas. And one of the reasons why I wanted to replace this antenna and use the one that I ordered is that it seems that this original antenna that comes with the device performs much better on 868 megahertz network. I'm not so sure about 433, because every time I'm checking the signal strength on 433 of this device sorry, from this one, it shows me like good, you know, when it comes to signal strength. But if I check this one, the strength of this signal on this device from here, it will, through the app of course, it will show me that this one has excellent signal. Doesn't matter if it's 433 or 868 megahertz. So yeah, I'm going to try when I get that antenna to install it and see the distance that I can cover on 433 megahertz with that tiny antenna. See if I can get better signal out of this device. But definitely I might end up getting a repeater from Seeedstudio, install it here somewhere on top of the house, and that should increase my range quite a lot. Now let's talk a little bit about major differences between Meshtastic and Meschcore, and I'll tell you which one I picked and why. So first of all, I do love the fact that in Romania, especially Bucharest area, and not only, because there are quite a few places around the country that are using Meshtastic on 433 megahertz, which is cool because it allows us as radio amateurs to use a little bit more power. We can also use amplifiers connected to the device. We can connect low pass filters to clean up the signal and you know, get less noise. And we can also use various antennas that we built, trying to extend the range. So it's kind of cool, but from my point of view, as an emergency network, 433 megahertz is not good. And why? It's just because it requires you to be a licensed amateur radio operator, and since it's for emergency, and this is valid both for Meshcore and Meshtastic, I will use 868, so everybody can use it, not just amateur radio operators. Now the big difference between Meshtastic and Meschcore, it's about the way they work. So Meshtastic, when it will send a message you know, outside of the device, going into all these nodes, into this Meshtastic network, it will send the same message to all the devices, and you know, a couple of them will pick it up, and then it will resend that message 3-4 times, I believe, maximum number, and after that the message will stop. So chances are the one that is supposed to receive your message might not receive that message at all. Unfortunately, this is how this network works. This is great for family, like if you go in a field trip and you want to keep in touch with each other, especially because you can use this device without a phone app. You can, you know, text each other, and let's say you have maybe like a kilometer distance between you, it should work pretty fine. When it comes to Meshcore, you can also use Meshcore to do this, but Meshtastic is cool because you can create, you know, since you're all close to each other, you have all these available options that you have on the device, as I was saying, to write messages without using your phone and so on. Meshtastic, on the other side, it will use like a repeater, and it will transmit the signal to the repeater that is closer, and you know, it can relay that message further, and the message will not spread everywhere, so the chances for the recipient to receive your message are much bigger. and as you can tell, as I shown you on the phone, I'm getting a lot of messages from Meshcore here in my location, which is quite far from the city. So yeah, again, Meshcore, I don't like it because it's not yet developed enough when it comes to options for the devices. But I do like it because of the it's more reliable. Meshtastic on the other side, just because it's much more developed for the devices and you have many more options, I like it a lot more on this part, but it's not reliable. So for emergency cases, for example, I would definitely use Meshcore, not Meshtastic. For fun stuff, you know, family stuff, definitely Meshcore, it's a good option. And this way I can actually, you know, hang this tiny device on my backpack, and I can use it using my phone. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you're using long-range devices, and which you prefer more, Meshtastic or Meshcore, and why. And if you have any tips for me to get better results from these devices, please let me know. I'm quite new to this. I've been experimenting, I've been testing, I've been playing around, but I'm pretty sure that I still have a lot more to learn. And definitely I need to learn a little bit more about repeaters and so on. So yeah, my opinion about these two devices, they are really cool, just because actually these are the main subject of the video. I definitely had a lot of fun. I'm waiting for the connector to change the SMA connector over here and get a new antenna. And I'm also going to connect, set up the device on 433 megahertz and connect it to my 2 meters and 70 centimeters band antenna that I'm going to install outside. And hopefully I can get some decent signal on Meshtastic as well, because I do know that in Romania we have this developed network on 433, and I have a couple of repeaters here up in the mountains, so hopefully I can receive something. But for now, yeah, I'm just going to play around. I'm going to reinstall Meshcore on this device so I can continue receiving the messages from around here from the network. But on Meshtastic, it's pretty quiet. So yeah, it is what it is. For now, my very personal opinion, none of them, Meshtastic and Meschcore, are developed enough. Meshtastic, again, it's cool because you have many options on the device, but it's not reliable because of the way it's sending messages. Meshcore, on the other side, is very reliable because of the way it's sending messages, but it's not developed enough on the options available for the devices itself. So, honest opinion from a beginner, in these two, they are both underdeveloped. But hopefully in the future they'll work on it and they will improve it. I wish Meshtastic was sending messages the same way and using the same method that Meshcore does, because I think they would blow. But apparently there's some misunderstanding between these two, so yeah, I don't know, it's not my stuff. I'm not developing this kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure that there's a lot of hard work behind it as well, so if you want to support them, please do. And when it comes to Seeedstudio and these two devices, thank you so much for sending me these two devices. I'm having a lot of fun with these, so yeah, hopefully I can get my antenna soon and I can play a little bit more. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked today's video, and again, if you have any tips, please let me know down in the comments, because I'm definitely going to need them. So I'll see you in the next video. Until then, 73.